here it is at last, the Helios Tarot forecast for the month, or Tarot Horoscope drawn specifically for your astrological zodiac sign. I'm B.R. Newman, in case you didn't know that already. Check out my website, IamHelios.com, through the link below, and consider everything that I have to offer there. Consider signing up to receive any number of the personal readings that I offer, or consider signing up to take a course. The choice is yours. There's a lot to explore there. Also consider checking out Annie Botticelli's Storyteller forecasts to see the astrological side of everything you're going to see here. It's fascinating, I promise. So, okay, I guess we'll just jump right into it. And here it is, Pisces, your 5-card tarot spread for the month of December. This is what I call a Helios spread, which uses 5 cards. It's like a condensed Golden Dawn spread, which uses 15 cards. But here, with 5 cards, we achieve a similar effect. We have a central theme, 2 dimensional timeline options for you to choose from, 2 different paths, and a past section and a fate section. So, in your central theme, you have the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is the final culmination of the element of water. It's associated with Spherith number 10, known as Malkuth on the Tree of Life. It's known as the kingdom, the realm, the world. This is where you experience the karmic result of each respective element. In this case, this is water. So, Malkuth, as manifest through water, is complete satisfaction, fullness, satiety. Sounds great, right? But we have to consider the lower vibrational manifestations, the lower vibrational potentials of this card, the experience of being too full, having taken on too much. You could think of it like the flame of motivation is extinguished due to excessive amounts of water, perhaps being incapacitated by feeling. In a sense, this potential can be realized through the direct experience with overindulgence, self-indulgence, excessive gratification-seeking that is immediately quenched, instantaneously enabled in one way or another. So it can be like too much comfort, an incubator of sorts in which there isn't much room for evolution or growth, or not much incentive for it. So that's the downside possibility. On the other hand, quite simply, this could be a sense of fullness, a sense of completion, having come around full circle. And so, of course, then you get the obvious word assigned to this card, satiety. And where you reside along this spectrum is going to determine the way in which this reading is relevant, essentially. So it's going to take some reflection on your part. This is a general reading applying to everyone who shares your sun sign. So the specifics that are relevant to your life can be unearthed through personal reflection. So please do so. Now that we've defined the central theme, we can figure out where you would like to reside along this other dichotomy, this other spectrum outlined by these 2-dimensional timeline possibilities. The one being the Ace of Discs, which is the primordial essence of Earth. And the context of this card would dramatically shift based on where you reside along that spectrum I defined relevant to the 10 of Cups. So this could be taking self-indulgence to a new level, to a materialistic level. This could be spending excessively, frivolously. Or this could simply represent the financial security that is allowed for the satiety to become the predominant experience here in the central theme. Wherever you reside along that spectrum is going to define the nature of this. So either way, we're dealing with the act of prioritizing physical matters, earthly matters, material matters, physicality. On the other hand, we have the experience of the 9 of Swords. And this is actually the last manifestation of air before it's fully actualized in the Malkuth in number 10. So this is associated with Yesod on the Tree of Life. And Yesod is like a engine room of creation. It's the foundation of all potentials residing above before it's channeled into the world. So this actually is a force that balances the 2 previous spheriths, number 7 and 8. So it's like a focusing mechanism. In some sense, it is the purest imagining of each respective element before being realized in the world. So in this case, as manifest through air, this is actually a kind of mechanical lack of compassion. Air represents exclusively mental faculties, psychological functions, objective reasoning, logic, and so on. So when this element is reduced or simplified or purified, in a sense, here in Yesod, you have this kind of mechanized, robotic degree of efficiency that rules out emotion, rules out subjective experience, and quite honestly has no consideration for wherever one might be residing along the 10 of Cups spectrum that I outlined earlier, for example. So this is actually revealing a probability that you would be taking the left-hand dimensional timeline. It's quite implied since the 10 of Cups and the 9 of Swords simply are not a match. This is not a logical follow-up to the 10 of Cups. Consequently, we can see that it's actually improbable that you would be residing along the more indulgent, saturated, and extinguished side of that spectrum, suggesting that the central theme would be pointing to something that is in need of occurring. There is in fact a need for this Ace of Discs. in order to allow you to fully optimize the potentials that are being revealed therein. So the Ace of Discs suggests that you should really check your finances, be cautious with your spending, invest very wisely, go back and check your bank account, etc. There are a number of ways this can surface, so again, personal reflection is everything, since this is a very general reading. For more specifics, of course, you can contact me for a personal reading. We can look at many other factors, astrological and otherwise. But here at least there is a very clear suggestion. You're not necessarily in danger of having to deal with the lower vibrational aspects or potentials of this Ten of Cups central theme. But this doesn't come without a warning. If you aren't careful, if you don't really carefully manage your resources, finances, etc., you could actually experience the full wrath, you could say, of the Nine of Swords, cruelty. So a mechanical lack of compassion, ruling out your feelings, all the obvious consequences of not keeping track of the ways in which you might be treading into that excessive territory outlined as a potential in your central theme. So this was all set in motion by the Two of Cups in your past section, which suggests that a very close personal relationship of yours has a hand in all of this, has some sway over the whole situation, or at least contributed to the cause, for better or worse. If the central theme outlines something problematic in your life, then you can assume that the application of the remedy, whatever it might be, will need to be made to that relationship. Keep in mind, this isn't necessarily a personal relationship between two individuals. This could pertain to your relationship with some particular resource, a substance perhaps. A little personal reflection might go a long way in revealing the details that are relevant. Though the Ace of Discs on your left-hand dimensional timeline and the Princess of Discs in your fate section do suggest that it is probable, at least, that this has to do with your relationship to some particular resource. So stuff or things rather than people, ideas, organizations, raw feeling, etc. So hypothetically, if the central theme suggests something problematic, the remedy would be residing here in the fate section, the Princess of Discs, which is actually correspondent to a Myers-Briggs profile. All of these 16 court cards line up beautifully with the 16 Myers-Briggs personality profile types, to no surprise. So this personality profile would be the ideal approach, the strategies, the perspectives that you should adopt, either to sustain what is favorable or to prevent or remedy what is unfavorable. This Princess of Discs is the ISFP, the Introverted Sensing Feeling Perceiver. And that is the artist, someone who sees a lot but shares just a little, one step at a time. She's very patient. She's very good-natured, very in touch with herself and with nature in general. She's reliable and is excellent at making lists and taking things, one step at a time. So this is suggesting that you might want to consider starting small. Don't get too involved with big projects. Take this one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself or exhaust yourself, as is suggested by the central theme. Instead, do as she does and find one manageable, practical step you can actually take it, and repeat. And that wraps this up. So thank you for listening to this. You might want to contact me for a personal reading of some kind. You can gain clarity, certainty, and confidence regarding a big decision, the nature of a personal relationship, family dynamics, general complications or opportunities, and so on. I can help you simplify extremely complex matters into something workable, something you can base otherwise difficult decisions upon, and something you can trust, so you can put your mind at ease and get back to living. And maybe you want to uncover the complexities of your inner circuitry, really getting to know the way you truly operate, so you can pick and choose the kinds of strategies, partners, and environments that help you thrive and feel good and think straight. If any of that sounds good, trust me, you're going to want to check out my website, IamHelios.com, and discover what I can offer you there today. Thanks again.